How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Last 10 years, let's take a look at 15 players not selected to either All-NBA or the All-Star team that totally dominated in the postseason and played like one of the very best. Roy Hibbert of the Indiana Pacers 2013 had the peak of his powers before the verticality rule. The 7'2" giant went from putting up 12 and 8 in 29 regular season minutes to having a memorable playoff run, 17 points, 10 rebounds, to 36 minutes. Hugely responsible for beating the second place Knicks and giving Miami a run for its money before being mentally broken the following season. The 26-year-old was literally on his way becoming one of the 3 best centers in the game, absolutely manhandled the smaller Chris Bosh, while the pace way slower back then, absolutely destroyed former Defensive Player of the Year Tyson Chandler, put up 24 and 12 in Game 3 and a 21 and 12 Game 6 clincher, a punctuating block on Melo's dunk, which simply ended the Anthony Knicks postseason tenure. A motivated physical Hibbert looked like a man amongst boys, whereas the Heroes, Bosh, Haslam, and Chris Anderson had no chance, scored between 18 to 29 points each of the 7 games, whereas the champs. The Pacers were supposed to contend for years, but sadly fell off after the 2014 All-Star break. Stephen Curry, 2013, his absolute breakout season, broke Ray Allen's single-season 3-point mark before the game heavily changed, led his team to 47 wins, franchised back to the playoffs since the We Believe team, teammate David Lee, the one that got the All-Star nod. Given the loaded guards in the West, Kobe, CP3, Westbrook, and Tony Parker with Harden were way more established, nobody viewed Golden State as legit, only averaging 21 a game drew after January, but exploded second half of the year, the famous 54-point masterpiece at MSG, but of course it was James Harden and the more established Dwayne Wade to make their team All-NBA for the guards. Harden having a breakout year with Houston after OKC gave him the clear edge. The 6-seeded Warriors absolutely upsetted the 57-win Nuggets. Curry scored 30, 29, and 31 through games 2 through 4, missed the third quarter, dropped 22 points in 6 minutes game 4. After closing Denver out in 6, Iggy hopped on the Dubs bandwagon and made the best career decision possible. A 44-point Mirage Game 1 loss to San Antonio. Despite falling to the more superior Spurs in 6, Curry had the rest of the league on notice. His true coming out party suddenly became the hottest ticket in the league. The rest was history. Kawhi Leonard 2014 San Antonio, more of a total team effort, the case for being the most balanced NBA champion the last 25 years, Tony Parker the only player on the Spurs to make the All-NBA. The Claw averaged just under 13 points, 29 regular season minutes, defensive second team, wasn't even mentioned as All-Star material, even 37-year-old Duncan left off the All-Star roster, but come playoff time, San Antonio could have had 5 different Finals MVP candidates depending who had the hot hand. First round was Parker's brilliance beating Dallas in 7. In the semis, Kawhi 17 and 8 on 56% shooting locked up the Blazers, while Leonard had the assignment guarding Durant 2014 Conference Finals, 6th leading scorer on his team that series, and Duncan's 18 and 10 average would have made him that series MVP. But with Kawhi's assignment on LeBron, plus the offensive efficiency, scoring 20 plus each of the final 3 games, doing so in blowout fashion, the Claw stock went up massively after those finals. Kyrie Irving 2016. The incredible finals performance still gives Irving a massive pass from his recent playoff failures. Missed 29 regular season games recovering from a broken kneecap, averaged just under 20 points, but absolutely turned it up in the postseason. Led all scorers, the first round sweep versus the Pistons, got the best of Kyle Lowry, the 6 games conference finals, while both Lowry and Drummond made their team All-NBA. Irving went bananas after being down 0-2 to Golden State. Last 5 games of those finals, averaged 31 points, 51% shooting, 47 from 3, went 20 of 21 from the line, a ridiculous 17 of 24 Game 5 display, and the biggest shot of his career Game 7 when nobody else could buy a bucket the last 4:38 of regulation. The series elevated the 23-year-old's legacy. Irving became one of the most beloved and respected players the next 13 months before the shocking trade request in 2017. Rookie Donovan Mitchell 2018. Utah wasn't even supposed to make the playoffs after Gordon Hayward's departure, but with Defensive Player of the Year Rudy Gobert and the team surrounded by vets good enough for 48 wins, upsetted the favorite Thunder in 6 games, first ever playoff series, averaged a staggering 28.5 points, looked like the more mature point guard out there against last season's MVP in Westbrook, a combination of Melo's terrible struggles, Joe Ingles getting into PG's head, and Rubio getting into Russ's head. Mitchell did whatever he wanted out there, 38 points the game clincher, a so-called super team eliminated by a rookie, Gobert's presence bothered George, plus the cold Melo nearly forced him out the league for good. Although Mitchell did struggle in the Houston series, shooting 36%, many knew his Jazz had no chance against the 65-win powerhouse. D-Mitch's early playoff success somewhat overshadowed his recent playoff struggles the last 2 seasons. Jrue Holiday 2018 and 2021, under the radar for years, a 19-point average, elite two-way presence, remember for locking down Dame Lillard, limiting the Blazers superstar to 18.5 points for the series, awful 35% shooting. Still to this day, his best basketball ever played. What Jimmy Butler did to him in 2023, similar to what Jrue did to Dame 5 years before, averaged an insane 28 points on 57% shooting for the series, sweeping the 3 seed in humiliating fashion, including a 41-point closeout, did whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, one of the most embarrassing beatdowns a non-All-NBA player done to a first-team guy. Holiday 2021, his next postseason, a huge upgrade from Eric Bledsoe, the clutch go-ahead layup, Game 3, avoided an 0-3 series hold versus Brooklyn, a monster Game 5, 27 points, 13 assists, 3 steals in 42 minutes of the finals, ripping the ball away from Booker's hands, leading to a Giannis lob and one, shifted the momentum of the series, a huge reason for CP3 wearing down. Holiday's impeccable defense earned the respect from everybody around the league. Milwaukee absolutely wouldn't have won the title without Jrue's impact. Holiday became finally recognized being super impactful. 2018 Rajon Rondo, 5 seasons removed from his last All-Star appearance after short stints with Dallas, Sacramento, and Chicago. Playoff Rondo still a huge factor, average only 8.3 points, 8 assists, 26 minutes, but absolutely a terror in the Portland series, on point chemistry with AD. The 32-year-old averaged over 11 points, 7.5 boards, 13.3 assists, minutes increased to over 35, one of the smartest vets after being waived by the Bulls, a huge bargain. Pels paid him $3.3 million, made the game super easy for Holiday and Davis, assisted on 6 of 15 AD baskets Game 4, vintage Rondo all postseason. After the shocking sweep, playoff Rondo continued to be a real thing. Before the 2018 series, his name was an afterthought and probably wasn't going to make the Hall of Fame, but playing like an absolute true star the 9 games also became one of the key role players to help the Lakers win it all 2020. CJ McCollum 2019, 16 postseason games, numbers of almost 25 points, nearly 39 from deep, a huge reason for the Blazers conference finals appearance. Him and Dame at the height of their powers, the 2 wins versus OKC, 24 points Game 1, followed by a masterful 33.8 rebound Game 2, went for 26 in Game 4, took a commanding 3-1 lead before Lillard put on the finishing touches, a classic series versus the inexperienced Nuggets, an absolute 4th overtime masterpiece Game 3, 41 big points on 39 shots, 60 minutes played, even down 3-2 in the semis. It was CJ's 30-point spark to protect his house, forcing a deciding Game 7. On the road, a masterful 37 points, 17 of 29 from the field, played over 45 minutes, a game Dame Lillard struggled horribly, going 3 of 17, CJ huge jumpers down the stretch, the best player in that Game 7, facing a team having the color Jokic. Despite being just okay versus Golden State and swept, McCollum's first 2 playoff series, some of his best basketball ever played. Jamal Murray 2020 and 2023, given how unstoppable he's looked come postseason time, the now 26-year-old never came close to making an All-Star team. 410 regular season games, 44 postseason contests, has one more 40-point performance in the playoffs than regular season. Absolute staggering, put up under 17, 45% from the field to nearly 25 a game in the playoffs, 47% shooting, 40 from 3 in 38 minutes. The passing and ball movement lethal in transition, leading to winning ball. Him and Jokic pick and roll nightmare for every team. Outsmarts his opponents, gets to his spots, an underrated shot creator, can make tough shots, and crafty around the rim, super streaky but when hot, looks like a top 5 scoring guard in the game, can have terrible games scoring just 10 points or score 20 in a quarter. Counting the bubble plus the first 2 rounds of 2023, numbers of 26, 5, and 7, 49% shooting, 43 from deep, 250 pieces versus Utah, a masterful clinic, plus the 40-point closeout Game 7 to complete 2 straight 3-1 comebacks, scored between 19 to 32 in the losses to the Lakers 3 years ago, destroyed Minnesota, and excellent overall versus the Suns. Murray continues to remind everybody how legit he is when the stage matters most. there's no doubt Jamal Murray will continue hitting plenty of big shots in many series for the coming years. Jalen Brown 2020 and 2022 didn't make his first All-Star till 21, officially became a 20-point scorer by year 4, numbers of 22 a game, absolutely took care of the short-handed Sixers, 27-point game 5 semis, dropped 31 in the loss the following game, an efficient 21-point game 7, one of the few Celtics to show up versus Miami, shot 56% from the field, 23-point average, wasn't even selected in All-Star 2022, very solid in the Brooklyn sweep, although it was JT dominating the Bucks series. JB's aggression attacking the basket earned many of his peers respect, constantly looked to be aggressive, more needed energy, proved to be a true all-star despite being subpar in the finals and getting frustrated with Draymond. Despite losing to Golden State in 6, JB was fearless. Many viewed him as the true alpha, with Tatum playing passive the whole finals. Goran Dragic of the Miami Heat. It wasn't all Jimmy buckets in the bubble. The 34-year-old balled out, put up 19.1 points through 17 games, hurt his foot game 1 of the finals, and a shell of himself after, desperately limped on the court game 6. The Dragon dropped 20 plus each of his first 6 games, looked like the best player some nights in the Pacers series, leading all players in scoring that round 1 sweep, from being the most forgotten all-star 2 years before to torching the Bucks' first 2 games, 27 big points game 1, 23 in game 2. Miami wouldn't have been up 3-0 without him. Got the best of Boston's Kemba Walker, went up 2-0, dropping 29 and 25 respectively, viewed as the second best Heat in the bubble playoffs before going down. Elite craftiness, footwork, change of pace, shades of vintage Manu Ginobili, the second best Slovenian player all time, might be one of the best forgotten and underappreciated great players years from now. A great teammate, engaging with the younger Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and Bam Adebayo. Super encouraging. His influence on the team, a few things many won't see in the box scores. Trae Young 2021, an absolute abomination of a travesty. The pathetic Ben Simmons made All-Star and All-NBA before having the biggest postseason meltdown we ever seen. When it mattered most, the 22-year-old took the league by storm, averaged nearly 29 points, 9.5 assists stat line. His first ever postseason, became a villain overnight, shades of Reggie Miller in the Garden, a game-winning floater game 1, 32.10 assists, playoff debut in the world's most famous arena, proceeded to destroy New York in what was supposed to be a tightly contested matchup. Young straight up dominated, a 36.9 assist game 5 closeout, also led a 26-point comeback, reminding everybody about that playoff shivers. Rivers destroyed the Sixers, 39 points game 5, changed Ben Simmons' career forever, dropped 48 on Drew Holiday before turning an ankle, making contact with the ref, a memorable first postseason, and yet Trae still one of the most disrespected players in the game. There's not many guys with his offensive arsenal, never shown any fear, continues to stay aggressive. Nobody could have believed Trae would be capable of leading his team this far early on. Chris Middleton 2021, a true closer in the 4th and winning time, a game-winning jumper to cap off game 1 versus Miami, a masterful 35-point game 3 with his backs against the ropes, avoiding an 0-3 hole versus Brooklyn, unstoppable game 6, 38 big points on 11 of 16 shooting, did enough for 23 big points game 7, closed out the Hawks series without Giannis, responding with 32 before the finals. Answered every adversity when called upon. 40-point game 4 finals, matched Devin Booker shot for shot, a super reliable go-to mid-range jumper. When Mitty gets to his spots, absolutely cash money. Followed up with a 29-point game 5, got so much praise and overreaction. CJ McCollum even considered Middleton the finals MVP before Giannis silenced his doubters. Hasn't been the same since the knee injury, but forever a Bucks legend. Jalen Brunson and Devin Booker. First off, it's an absolute travesty. JP didn't make an All-NBA nor an All-Star team. Instead, the out-of-control Julius Randle was supposed to respond when needed most but didn't. Brunson averaged an incredible near 28 points, having one of the best ISO games, never went down without a fight, while the 26-year-old Devin Booker, proven to elevate his game but missed 29 of them regular season, averaged nearly 34 on a ridiculous 59, 51, 87 shooting splits, unconscious shot making, proving to be the best 2 guard in the game, 34 of 43 from the field for 83 points, games 3 to 4 narrow wins. Unfortunately, his teammates failed him. Jimmy Butler and Anthony Davis 2023, true superstars when healthy and playing their best. Jimmy Buckets does his best come postseason time. Many forgot he single-handedly gave Miami a shot at the Finals 2022, continued to do the improbable. What a competitor. While AD's impeccable defense makes the Lakers one of the top teams, his presence locking down the paint when he's on looks like a top 5 player, unstoppable with the length and skill set, would probably be a top 25 player all time already if his body was built like LeBron. Thanks so much for watching this video. Which one of these players' dominant playoff run did you not see coming? Let me know in the comments below. See you next time.